Well, we're brothers, brief history of Walsall. Brothers started fiddling about, electronic instruments up in our bedrooms, got, just been interested in that type of thing for quite a while, and just music generally. Sort of put a record out called Chime, which was luckily for us, it was a hit in the clubs, which then enabled us to secure a record deal with London Records. So we were quite lucky in that way that it happened to be, and we haven't looked back since really, which has been brilliant. I always think, 1 year it gets better and better, and it's great.
Really sit there and think, let's get into dance music. We were into electronic music in general, and that's sort of where we stay really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, my criteria for doing music isn't can you dance to it, then it works. It's can you listen to it, and if you can dance to it, then great. I like rhythms. I enjoy sort of a pounding rhythm and things, but it's sort of, my main criteria is for listening rather than dancing. Get people we can trust, and that we leave them to decide what they're going to do with the lights. We work with a guy called Giles and another guy called Luke, who sort of put video together, and basically we improvise with the structure of our tracks when we're playing, and so Giles has to do the same with his video. I'm not sure the screen count tonight. I think it's sort of probably about 5 screens, I think, so he'll be there with his sort of 3 video decks and a live camera and that, just sort of doing video mixing as we perform. So it's sort of, it's all improvised along with each other, really.
But it's just an accompaniment to our music rather than a necessity. Because we've done quite a few gigs that without any production whatsoever, and it works just as fine. It's just on bigger events like this. I mean, we started off playing on the dance floor so people can come and look and see what we're doing, but inevitably you get pushed on a stage because people, because you're a band so-called, and so you have to enter and try and twist around the traditional ways of seeing a band and that. And we've always had this huge space behind us, and I like the idea of working with people that want to show their videos and, what better to do and to sort of make some filming that's actually got relevance to the tracks that we're playing.
Satan! 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 Satan!
Performance that we did on Jules Holland, it was quite good really, because we wanted to use all the sort of elements that we use in Satan for an actual music video towards that track, but people didn't think that we'd be allowed to show handguns and horrific scenes basically. Bearing in mind that all these scenes were taken from the 6 o'clock news anyway, or John Craven's news round. It didn't really matter. We weren't allowed to take that out of context and use these, horrible images basically for a music video. There's a story behind that one really. Swinton, who's the main subject, she could represent your spirit, anything, an alien, whatever, but just being out of time, out of sync, a different time zone, and every the world around her. Or you could, it's open to quite a few interpretations really, and sort of comment on how fast the world's going, and all sorts of things really. The litter spewing out, the litter being, in sort of overload, with that sort of sense of, if you're living in a city, reminds me of that sort of atmosphere, really, which is really good. It worked well.
I like film soundtracks, but our dad used to sort of play them a lot when we were younger. I don't know if that's where the interest comes from, but I sort of collect them all the time, really.
It's instrumental music, isn't it, basically? Not necessarily typically classical music, it's like the only other sort of thing that was around when we were younger, as regards to instrumental music, and then, when we were really young, I'm talking about. But so, I suppose it's just an extension of that, that's what we've ended up doing, what we do, I suppose.